Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play, the home for strategy, tactics, and more. If you haven't subscribed already, now's your chance. Today is December 28th, 2024. It's time for another strategy gaming news roundup. These are just updates to games, announcements of new games, things that came out, stuff that caught my eye and that I was interested in and want to share with you. Reminder, if you've got a game or that you're a fan of, a developer of, that you're excited about, you want to see featured, make sure you just reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll try to work it in. We're here in between Christmas and New Year's, so I hope you're having happy holidays, however you celebrate. And if nothing else, lots of games on sales, lots of great strategy games on sale, so it's a good time to pick up something new. Our first update here we'll talk about is for Manor Lords. This is a medieval city builder slash strategy game. Came out back in April this year. So if you were living under a rock, you might have missed it because it was a huge deal when it came out, just because it was the city builder where you could it simulates basically your people gathering all these resources, and then you build up an army. You have battles, you have kind of everything. It's like a medieval life simulator, so people were really excited for it when it came out. And then it had a good release, but kind of a limited amount of content, so it kind of quieted down after that. But they just put out another big update recently. We can look at some of the changes made. It's been a few months since the last update, so it was nice to see some new stuff coming. Big changes to the way the marketplace works, which is exciting for this game because in a lot of strategy games, the marketplace is just kind of a building for buying, selling resources in an abstract way. But here, the marketplace is actually where your villagers go. They set up stalls, they sell their goods that they produce, trade to each other, and it's all kind of simulated. So a lot of big changes to how that works. They also added some new maps. They added a bridge building system, so you can build these beautiful medieval looking bridges. You can upgrade your tavern, so you can party it up for New Year's there. And then all kinds of gameplay and balance changes, just a lot of little tweaks to how the game works and balance changes and stuff. So it's a good time to hop back into Manor Lords if you haven't played it in a while. And then if you never got it, it's on sale. But definitely if you're looking for a medieval city builder slash war game, it's a really fun one to play. I might do a video about it soon because it's really beautiful and does things in a interesting way. I really like playing it just because you get to watch your little villagers walk around everywhere and stuff. So it's a good time. Nice time to check it out. All right, so next up we have Pacific Fire. This is a turn-based war game that's currently for mobile, but it's coming to Steam early next year. The developer sent me an email about it. It was the first direct email I got for the channel about any kind of game from a developer, so that was exciting. They were just wanting to let me know that, yeah, their series that is on mobile right now, this is the first game coming over to PC. And while I'm not usually a big mobile gamer, this actually looks pretty solid. They're only $6 a piece on mobile, and they have really, really great reviews. So if you're looking for a war game for your phone to play on the go, I would look at this series because they got Pacific Fire that's already available on phone, but coming to PC next year. That is about the Pacific, and then they have Blitzkrieg Fire, which is about Europe and North Africa, and then Red Fire, which is about like Korea, Vietnam, and all of them have really great reviews on the Apple Store. So if you're looking for a war game for your phone, definitely check them out. They're only like $6 a piece, and they look pretty good. But I'll probably do some gameplay of this whenever it comes over to PC, because for some reason I just can't seem to wrap my head around playing games on my phone. I just never make time for it. But I'm looking forward to trying this out on PC. Looks like a pretty detailed, but probably pretty easy to play war game. So always looking for something new from smaller developers. All right, so next up is Age of Wonders 4. It got a big new free update. This is one of my favorite 4X strategy games the last couple of years. It's a fantasy 4X with tactical combat, so it's got all the good bits of stuff all put together, and then what really sets it apart is the sheer level of customization you can do, where basically every time you play, instead of like Civilization where you pick a country or you pick some kind of faction in another game, in this one you're basically making a new faction every time you play, picking from all these different kinds of races to pick how you want your people to look like. You can be frog people, cat people, humans, all kinds of stuff. And then picking traits for your faction, picking what your hero is, who can be a totally different person, can be a dragon, can be like a Cthulhu monster if you have the DLC for that. Just the level of variability, like every match is different. And I love that about the game. And this update brings some new stuff to take that even further. Down here, the Tiger update, it does a lot to change how the heroes work. So your hero is like your faction leader. And you can be, there's different kinds of heroes that can lead your faction, but they added a couple new classes. So you can have Death Knights and Spellblades. So as you're playing, you're unlocking different skills for your hero. They have different weapons. Just brings even more customization to the game than it already had. And then they also added new weapons, and then just a huge list of balance changes, bug fixes, AI improvements, all kinds of stuff. So a giant update for Age of Wonders 4. I actually stayed up way too late last night playing a scenario of this because I just had to finish it out, and I managed to win, but yeah, I went to bed way too late. But definitely, if you are a 4X strategy fan and you haven't played this game, it's so good. It's everything from Civilization, but with tactical combat thrown on top. And then the setting is just so good because every match is different. The world can be radically different. The faction you're playing can be radically different. I never play the same race or faction twice. It's just so good. All right, next up we have a big new update for Gates of Hell Ostfront. This is a game that I kind of slept on for a long time. Just recently picked it up and started playing. This is a World War II RTS in the style of Men of War, which was a game that I loved back in the day. And then Men of War 2 came out recently, kind of flopped, but Gates of Hell Ostfront is actually super popular and has a very big community. So I'm kind of jumping into that and getting familiar with the game. If you haven't played it, it's basically like a top-down RTS most of the time, but you can actually go down and take direct control of your individual soldiers and tanks and do like basically a first-person shooter or third-person if you want to. You don't have to. But it's a very versatile engine that lets you have a lot of fun with the combat in this game. But the update that just came out adds front lines to the game, and this was apparently the most requested feature from the community. So it's cool to see the developers listening, giving the people what they want. And basically, it's a mode where one player is defending, one's attacking. The attacker has more resources and more units, but the defender has favorable terrain and gets time to fortify their map with like minefields and obstacles and stuff. So you kind of get to build up this big defensive line, and then the attacker has to try to overtake it in a limited amount of time. And then there can be like a second line the defender falls back to. So it looks pretty fun. I like the idea of it, and it's nice to see the developers giving the people what they want. So if you haven't played it, do check it out. It's only like $8.74 right now on sale. A really great game with tons of content, tons of DLC to add on stuff, but just the base game too is a lot of fun to play. All right, next up we have a brand new game announced by Wargame Design Studio. It's not just a new game, but a whole new series for them. So they have a lot of different series covering like World War II and modern and different eras of history. But before this, I think the oldest history going back was like the pike and shot era. So like 1600s, 1700s into Napoleonics. But this is going way back to the Crusades era and giving us some medieval combat with no gunpowder, just swords and shields and bows and arrows and all kinds of stuff like that. So interesting to see them take a new setting on and see how it goes. It goes from 1097 to 1148 is the period of time. So you're gonna have a lot of like sieges and battles from the Crusades. You're going to have, I think it said 60 scenarios. So there's be a ton of content in the game of all different types. And then, of course, it's using the same engine for their other games. So not fancy graphics, but you've got these large scale battles that should give you a nice realistic experience of kind of the forces arrayed and how they might have moved around and fought. So something very different from them, but I look forward to trying that out whenever they said it should come out in about the next 6 months or so. So that's one to look forward to, especially if you're a fan of medieval ancient eras, or not ancient, but swords and shields, stuff like that, besides just your usual wargaming fare. All right, and then finally at the end, I usually like to throw on something that just I'm excited about, whether it's a strategy game or something else. And right now it's got to be all the sales going on right now for the holiday sales. So on Steam, you've got, of course, every game imaginable on there. But for strategy gaming, there's a lot of great strategy simulation games. I was going to point out in particular the Combat Mission series, since it's come to Steam and now controlled by Slytherin. I don't think Combat Mission has ever been more affordable than it is right now. All the main games are $24. Most of the DLC are $14. And then I imagine there's probably like bundles in there too. But yeah, if you've ever want to play Combat Mission, now is your chance to scoop them up, because they are way cheaper than they used to be. So a good time to get in on that. Pick up some expansions if you haven't before. Also, I like to plug Good Old Games. I like to buy from them anytime I can, just because their games, if you don't know, if you buy from them, you actually get an executable file that you can download, like old school, like you run the exe file to install the game if you want to. They have a launcher too, like Steam, but if you do that, it's yours to keep forever. So I like to do that, especially for like these older games. There's a lot of classic strategy games available here that you can download, and then you've got the file, and then you've got it forever if you want it. So check out Good Old Games too when you're shopping. And then War Game Design Studio, their games are almost all of them, not the couple newest ones are not, but pretty much everything else is on sale, like 25% off. So a good chance for, if you're a strategy gamer right now, is your chance to pick up some new stuff at whatever your store of choice is. But I hope that you have happy holidays, have a great new year. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and watching, and more to come in 2025. We'll see you then. Bye.